Bitcoin rose more than 6% today to surpass, for the first time ever, the $6,000 mark. More interestingly, Bitcoin just surpassed $100 billion in total market capitalization, or as CoinDesk puts it, $0.1 trillion. Yes, we are now quantifying Bitcoin in the trillions. When we start talking in the trillions, we're beginning to talk about a shift in the financial and monetary system. And as I pointed out recently, Bitcoin is still but a glimmer in the all-seeing eye, so to speak, of the overall monetary picture. If Bitcoin is truly on its way, and it'll still be years if so, to becoming a widely used currency, then its upside is still massive. And while one of Bitcoin's most valuable attributes is its hard cap limit of 21 million Bitcoins that will ever be created, but that are divisible to the 8th decimal, meaning it still has the ability to be used in the smallest of transactions, the fact of the matter is that Bitcoin has been in a state of hyperinflation over the first 8 years of its short lifespan. In order to disseminate Bitcoin widely, it needed to issue a large amount of Bitcoin over a short amount of time, meaning the total money supply has increased massively in those 8 years. From the perspective of the very first Satoshi that was ever mined, the money supply growth has been exponential to the nth degree. But as you can see, that inflation curve is now entering into the leveling off period, meaning that the supply of new Bitcoin will continue to be less and less as a percentage of the total. And with only about 18 million Bitcoin wallets in existence, even if each of those wallets were owned by a single individual, which they aren't as I personally have dozens of different wallets, it would mean that 0.2% of the world's population currently owns Bitcoin. Supply is reducing dramatically while demand is and should be increasing dramatically. What happens when that happens? Even the most economically brain-dead person like Paul Krugman should know it means the price will have to rise. Will it continue to rise in the short term? That's anyone's guess. And the powers that shouldn't be will do anything they can to stop it. Because if they lose control of the money system, they lose control of everything. Initial coin offerings, ICOs, now do more in dollar value than Wall Street's IPOs. That's why Jamie Dimon can't stop trying to talk Bitcoin down and has hinted that the government will try to kill Bitcoin and that it will end badly. And just recently, helicopter Ben Bernanke, who seriously had a plan at one point to drop Federal Reserve notes from helicopters to help the economy, was speaking at a Ripple conference in Toronto. When he was asked about Bitcoin competing with the US dollar, he replied, "Eventually governments will take any action they need to prevent that." And I have no doubt they will. It'll be incredibly interesting times ahead. The war has just begun. Make sure you have a front row seat by subscribing to the Dollar Vigilante newsletter in the links below, where we cover every facet of this evolution. Here was a recent comment from a subscriber on how much they enjoyed our coverage of the upcoming Bitcoin SegWit 2x fork. I really appreciate your work on the Bitcoin Core versus SegWit 2x article. It reads like a conversation with a trusted advisor who is knowledgeable enough to discern the landscape and honest enough to admit own bias, and where lack of knowledge or understanding exists. This kind of analysis is becoming more and more important as the signal-to-noise ratio continues to drop in this sea of information and the stakes get higher for everyone involved. I came away with a better understanding of what's happening, better ability to protect myself, and some good ideas on how to play it. Articles like this justify my membership in TDV. And if you still don't own any Bitcoin, check out my free 4-video webinar in the links below, where I offer to send you your first $50 in Bitcoin when you subscribe to our newsletter. We began that promotion months ago when Bitcoin was around $1,500, so those people who accepted the offer at the time now receive the equivalent of $200 in Bitcoin, essentially getting our newsletter for free. Stick with us here at the Dollar Vigilante, where we stand at the front lines of this evolution in money and banking.
You've seen the Dollar Vigilante on mainstream media trolling the fake news, and seen Jeff Berwick travel inside places like Venezuela and Cuba to expose the truth about what's happening in those socialist paradises. To get even more, make sure to subscribe to the Dollar Vigilante newsletter to receive 2 full 30-plus page issues from the Dollar Vigilante each month, plus market alerts on precious metals, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and gold mining stocks by going to dollarvigilante.com/subscribe. The Dollar Vigilante newsletter earned subscribers a 99% return in 2016 and is on track for more great gains this year. Click on the link in the notes below or go to dollarvigilante.com/subscribe to find out more.